Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Vadash, and double honors to our elders and apostles of GMS Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Shalom, shalom. This is Brother Nabali here with another lesson. All right, this is a video that I came across right here. All right, here on TikTok. All right, and I believe this guy goes by the name of Kyle Wagner. All right, and he is part of the group Antifa. All right, so this is pretty much him speaking. Um, pretty much him speaking about an incident that happened. All right, out there in Minneapolis. How one of the protesters got gunned down by ICE, pretty much, and how pretty much he's pretty much against it. All right, pretty much he's against ICE. All right, and pretty much he's pretty much saying that there's no more peaceful protest. All right, now this goes to show you, all right, that Esau Edom's kingdom is divided. This goes to show you that. All right, so I'm gonna play this video. Let him say what he has to say. Get into a few scriptures. All right, that popped into mind. All right, so I'm gonna play the video, and Lord's will that this lesson is edifying.
Kyle, I'm Antifa, and this morning, ICE murdered another innocent person 4 blocks from my house. I heard the gunshots, and I thought it was nothing, and was trying to sleep away my morning until the fucking messages started flooding in. And my friend woke me up to say that I was needed front lines right away. Conveniently, I could walk there in about 5 minutes in the cold. And by the time I got there, there was already barricades in the streets and they had already started popping gas and there was a line of DHS in the streets. I have my truck on standby. I have gas masks on the ground there as much as I could deliver. I have people en route. If you're seeing this video, we are done with peaceful protests now. The gloves come off and ICE needs to get out. Run for the hills, boys. Because there's no message of peace that's gonna fucking land after what they did this morning. 5 shots face down on the ground. You don't get to talk to me about peaceful fucking protest anymore. I have had these conversations with you people for a fucking decade. I have repeated myself ad nauseum to a deaf ears of cowards and bitch-made little fuckboys that wanna fucking talk about their fucking feelings instead of putting hands on these murderers. My name's Kyle.
All right, man. So, we clearly see, man, that these Edomites, are pissed off about this situation. All right, we clearly see that there's division. All right, amongst Esau Edom's queendom. All right, so I just made me think about it. A couple of scriptures. All right, that I'm gonna get. All right, we all know this one. Isaiah 19:2, and then we'll get it. We will get in the GNT. All right. So this is the book of Isaiah 19:2. All right. Well, we'll start at 1. All right. It says message to Egypt. All right. Which Egypt is modern day America. All right. It says the burden of Egypt. All right. Behold, Yahweh Bashem Shai rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt. All right. It says, and the idols of Egypt shall be removed at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. All right. Verse 2, the point. And I will set Egyptian against Egyptians. All right. And they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, and city against city and kingdom against kingdom. All right. So the point, that's the point, man. Egyptian versus Egyptian. All right. You're going to have, these Edomites fighting against each other, man. All right. You're going to have different these different agencies fighting against each other. All right, these different agencies that work for Esau Edom, that work for the elite. All right, that are funded. All right, by these elites, man. All right, you're gonna have them fighting against each other, man. Egyptian against Egyptian, man. All right, the scriptures clearly tell you that there's going to be division. All right, amongst these people, right, against the different cities. All right, the different provinces. All right, so. Clearly, man, this guy, right here, by the name Kyle Wagner. All right, he's he's inciting, violence. All right. Ultimately, it's going to be all out war, man. All out civil war, man. All right. Egyptian versus Egyptian, man. That's clearly what's taking place, getting ready to take place on an intense scale. All right. So let's get this in the GNT. Let's get this here in the GNT. All right. Let's see. Let's get this here in the GNT. What is it? Isaiah 19 and 2. We'll get this in the GNT, Salakia, New Testament. Oh no, that's Old Testament, Salakia. Isaiah 19, and we'll start at 1 and move on down to 2. All right, get to the point. It says Yahweh Shemal Shai will punish Egypt. All right, this is a message about Egypt. All right, it says Yahweh Shemal Shai is coming to Egypt riding swiftly on a cloud. The Egyptians' idols tremble before him, and the people of Egypt lose their courage. It says Yahweh Shemal Shai says, I will stir up civil war in Egypt. All right, and that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing Yahweh Shemal Shai, stirring up civil war. All right, he's throwing that spirit out there, man. Right now is the spirit of we're in that war spirit. All right, we're in the time of hate, the time of war. All right, that's the spirit that Yahweh Shemal Shai is putting out there, man. All right, the spirit of chaos. And it says Yahweh Shemal Shai says, I will stir up civil war in Egypt and turn brother against brother and neighbor against neighbor. Rival cities will fight each other and rival kings will struggle for power. All right. So that's what we're seeing here, man. All right. And that's what, the guy from, Antifa, man, Kyle Murray, I believe his name is, talking about, he's done with peaceful protest. All right. So what does that sound like, man? All right. That sounds like, civil war are getting ready to break out, man. That's what that sounds like. All right, that's exactly what that sounds like. Um, let's get Salakia. Let's get the book of Matthew. All right. What is it? Matthew 12. What is it? Verse 25. All right. I'm just trying to make this quick, fast and straight to the point. All right. Here we go. This is Matthew 12 and 25, and it says, and Yahweh Shai knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. All right. Every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then shall a kingdom stand, man? How is a kingdom going to stand, man, when you got a kingdom that's divided? It's not going to stand. All right. It's ultimately, this place it's going to be brought to a desolation, man, as it says here in the scriptures. You see? Let's see right here. It says in the NOT, it says Yahushua knew their thoughts and replied, any kingdom divided by civil war, boom, there it is again, civil war, is doomed. It says a town or family splintered by feuding will fall apart, man. And that's what we're seeing, man. We're seeing all these different agencies and, these different government-funded agencies and, different groups, going at it with each other, man. All right. Like the guy just said, we're seeing Antifa versus ICE. All right, you got the Democrats versus Republicans. All right, we're seeing that. All right, we're seeing race wars taking place. All right, Esau, Jake, going against each other. All right, we're seeing all these things taking place, man. We're seeing Jake banding together. All right, coming against Esau. All right, we're seeing the other nations banding together. All right, against other nations. You see, so we're seeing Russia, China, all these other countries banding against America, man. There's just so much division going on all throughout the world here in Babylon the Great as well, man. All right, so this goes to show you, man. Division is set in stone here. All right, Yahweh Shemal Shai is throughout that spirit. All right, that's the spirit that Babylon the Great is in, and the spirit of war. All right, the spirit of hate. All right, the spirit of division. All right. Yahweh Shemal Shai tells you that he come not to bring peace. Let's get that. Let me see, but division. This is Luke 12 and 51. And it says, suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? All right. I tell you nay, but rather division. You see? So Yahweh Shai Shai is coming to bring division, upon this place. It says, from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3. All right. So, this is, even division amongst your household. All right. It says the father shall be, it says the father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, and the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother. It says the mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law, man. So even division amongst your own household, man. All right. The Yahweh Shem Shai is coming to bring division amongst your own household. He's coming to bring division amongst the governments. He's coming to bring division, against the nations. He's coming to bring division, against, you know, these different groups here in Babylon the Great. All right, this is clearly a prophecy, man. All right, being spoken of here. All right, let's get let me see. I want to see what the book of Matthew says in the GNT. What is it? Matthew 12. Yeah, come on, chapter 12. What's happening? Salakia. Salakia. I'm trying to get to the chapters. Isaiah 19. Salakia.
You ever wake up in the middle of the night because your brain won't stop stressing about money? I've been there plenty of times. Good.
From here again. Let me get back in here. Salakia. Let's see what Matthew 12 says in the GNT. Let's go here. Good news. Go to the book of Matthew. These damn. What is it? 12 and verse 25. Let's see what it says in the GNT. It says here, this is Matthew's 12 and 25, and it says Yahweh Shai knew what they were thinking, and so he said to them, any country that divides itself into groups, all right, which fight each other, will not last very long. You see, a country that divides itself into groups that fight each other will not last very long. And it says, in any town or family that divides itself into groups which fight each other will fall apart. Boom, there you go, man. All right. That's what we're seeing, man. All right, we're seeing Antifa, versus ICE. All right, we're seeing, all these different divisions here amongst us here in Babylon the Great. All right, which is clearly prophecy. All right. Verse 26, it says, so if one group is fighting another in Satan's kingdom, this means that it is already divided into groups and will soon fall apart. All right. So that's the point, man. When you're divided, your kingdom should not stand. All right. When you're divided, it's going to fall apart, man. That's where we're at, man. We're at the end of Esau's kingdom. All right. And this is just, one of the signs that we're seeing. All right. We're seeing division. We're seeing the end of Esau's kingdom. All right. We're seeing, according to the book of 2nd Esdras, was it 6 and 9? All right. What does it say? It says, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right. So we're seeing, one kingdom fall and another kingdom being risen. All right. A righteous kingdom, all right, a kingdom that's going to be ruled with righteousness, all right, by our king of kings, Yahweh Shai, man. All right. That's who's going to be, having rulership. All right. A new righteous rulership here. All right. So, with that being said, I just pray that this quick lesson was edifying, man. All right. We're at the end. All right. And time is short. All right. Time is really short. All right. So, with that being said, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Akakwadash, and double honors to all elders and apostles of GMS Great Millstone who teach and rule well. This is Brother Nabala. Until the next lesson, Shalom, Shalom.